we are all journalists. Okay, most of us here are journalists, and it's really important for us to be celebrated for the work that is done, and as we remember those who have passed on in line of duty, we also would like to honor many journalists who have covered some really complex stories about the environment, degradation, covering forests, covering industries and factories under really difficult circumstances. It's a high price to pay, and we believe that journalists should not be deterred from doing their work. So indeed, as it has been said, we expect support, not just from the government, but from the communities, from the business community also, from the cultural leaders, that a journalist who is covering issues of the environment should not be faulted while they're covering it. Another thing is that access to information about environmental issues should be availed to journalists when they come and ask for them. As Mr. Kaheru said, environment is also really related to, climate change, and the issues about women and climate change are very obvious. Women are the center of so many effects of climate change and the environmental degradation. But there's an opportunity for journalism to go further in highlighting these issues. And so we hope that as we focus on the press for the planet, there will be more gender-sensitive reporting about the environment, and we hope that even media houses shall prioritize training female journalists to be able to understand this concept even better, training them to be able to cover investigative stories on the environment, and preparing them to cover them by ensuring that they are safe. And so even then, we calling on media houses to increase space and programming for content about the environment, because it's not just about us, it's really about everyone. The things about the environment affect us, but if they are not known by the media, if they're not known through the media, then the audiences out there are missing out. So we as media owners, as media houses, have an obligation to ensure there is increased content. There is prioritization for environmental stories. There's prioritization for training, for lifelong training for journalists to cover environment, not just as beat reporters. Everybody should be able to be fairly equipped above average on how to report about this subject, because again, there are political sides to climate change and the environment, there are social sides to climate change and the environment, there are cultural sides, and so all of these must be included. Above all,
Nganze, Executive Director wa African Center for Media Excellence, ngatera mu kitongole kino ekya Uganda Media Sector Working Group. Nzengeza omulimu gwange okulaba nti nno bannaffe bonna mu bitongole by'amawulire tukolera wamu okusobola okulaba nti nno tulina eddoboozi limu ku bintu byonna ebikwata ku bintu ebiruma bannamawulire n'ebitongole by'amawulire. Omwaka guno olunaku lw'amawulire olubeerawo nga 3 buli May buli mwaka. Ng'olunaku luno lwateekebwawo okusobola okusasira ku ddembe lya bannamawulire oba abantu bonna abakozesa emikutu gy'amawulire okusobola okubaako ebyempuliziganya mu mirimu gyonna gye bakola. Wakati omwaka guno essira tulitadde ku obuvunaanyizibwa bwa bannamawulire mu kusobola okukulaakulanya embeera y'ensi. Kakati ekisinga obukulu nga bwe tumanye embeera y'obutonde mu Uganda, tulina ekizibu nga bwe mumanyi, amatabakati mangi, omusana mungi, abantu bonna bw'otunuulira kati ebyobulimi kakati bw'otunuulira mu ggwanga lyonna ebirime abalimi bonna bafunye obuzibu. Bw'otunuulira ebibira bisaanyiziddwawo mu ngeri mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebisinga. Kati kye tugezaako okukola omwaka guno okusobola okukunga bannamawulire n'abantu bonna abafuna amawulire nga bakozesa amawulire oba nga bakozesa emikutu gy'amawulire oba mu bizinesi zaabwe oba mu byobufuzi mu bintu byonna byonna bye bakola oba ebyokuyiga. Tugezaako okukkaatiriza nti nno bannamawulire balina omulimu gw'amaanyi gwe bayamba, era bannamawulire twagala okulaba nti nno omulimu ogwo mugukola ate ne mugukola mu ngeri ekuŋŋaanya amawulire amalungi agasobola okuyamba abantu okutegeera n'okutaasa obutonde bw'ensi. Era kati olunaku nga 3 May wiiki ejja ffe nga bannamawulire n'ekitongole kino kati nga Uganda Media Sector Working Group, ekitongole ekikunga abantu ebitongole ebirala byonna ebigezaako okulaba nti nno eddembe lya bannamawulire likuumibwa, okulaba nti eddembe lya bannamawulire bakozesa eddembe eryo okusobola okukuŋŋaanya amawulire n'okusaasaanya amawulire ago mu ngeri eneeyamba obutonde bw'ensi n'okulaba nti n'abantu abo bonna abaleeta embeera eno kati gye twesanzeemu okulaba nti nno obutonde bwaffe obutonde bw'ensi nga mu ggwanga lyaffe ne mu nsi yonna engeri gye bubadde butambuziddwamu okulaba nti nno abantu abakola ebintu ebyekika ekyo oba basima musenyu oba batema bibira ebintu byonna ebyekika ekyo ebisaanyaawo obutonde bw'ensi okulaba nti nno bannamawulire babakola ki babakuba mu torch abantu abavunaanyizibwako mu bitongole bya gavumenti ne mu bitongole ebirala byonna okulaba nti nno bakola omulimu gwabwe okubatuukirira ne babaziyiza okukola ebintu ebitaasaawo obutonde bw'ensi. Initiate the activities to mark the World Press Freedom Day, which falls every year on the 3rd of May. And as the Uganda Media Sector Working Group, we are a multi-stakeholder advocacy platform that works to promote the development of the media in Uganda through constructive regulation and especially with emphasis on self-regulation, because we believe very strongly that the most effective form of regulation is self-regulation. And therefore, on behalf of the partners, the various partners under the banner of the Uganda Media Sector Working Group, these include the Uganda Human Rights Commission, which is represented today by Mr. Commissioner Crispin Kaheru. We've got the Media Council of Uganda, the Uganda Media Center as well, the African Center for Media Excellence. We've got the Uganda Editors Guild. We've got Media Focus on Africa, which is also represented here. We've also got the Uganda Human Rights, the Human Rights Network for Journalists, Uganda. We've got the Uganda National Academy of Sciences this year. We've got the Health Journalists Network of Uganda. We've got the Media Challenge Initiative. We've got the Northern Uganda Media Club, the Elgon Journalists Association, the Umbrella for Journalists in Kasese, the TESO Journalists for Community Empowerment, and several other partners, including universities like Makerere University, Uganda Christian University, Islamic University in Uganda. So the Uganda Media Sector Working Group is a network and coalition of several of these organizations. Now the theme for this year's World Press Freedom Day is a press for the planet. Journalism in the face of the environmental crisis. And the intention for focusing on this particular theme is to highlight the crisis and the role as well as the importance of journalism and freedom of expression in shaping solutions to the impending global disaster. And so the World Press Freedom Day is annually commemorated to emphasize to governments and the public at large to fulfill their commitments and obligations on press and media freedom, the obligations and commitments to media of media professionals and stakeholders to reflect on the state of press freedom and professional ethics. World Press Freedom Day is also intended to mobilize support and solidarity for media practitioners and journalists that are targeted for harm because of their professional duty. We also remember the journalists who lost their lives in the course of their work over the last 1 year. And as we speak, at least 99 journalists and media workers were killed in 2023 across the world. And many of these, during conflicts in the Middle East and in Ukraine and in several other places. Now, this year, the media fraternity in Uganda is moving together under the leadership of the Uganda Media Sector Working Group, as I have emphasized. I would also to further emphasize that the freedom of expression and freedom of the media stakeholders and enthusiasts are very much alive to the global environmental crisis, which is also a sad reality in Uganda. The impact of the steadily increasing global warming as a result of human activity is threatening human life and health, as well as biodiversity, with some species facing extinction. And so we are all too aware of the environmental crisis that we are facing in Uganda, and that is the reason why we would like to mobilize the media to focus on the importance of our role as media practitioners in helping to protect the environment, in helping to improve the environment, and in helping to mobilize political action and civic action to ensure that government and the public sector and public resources are invested in protecting and ensuring that the environment is sustained for the benefit of our population. I would like to, we've got a statement that the written statement will be shared at the end of this engagement, but just want to highlight some of the activities that will happen as part of the commemoration this year. This year, the media fraternity seeks to demonstrate the importance of protecting the environment by planting trees, and so journalists would like to lead by example. So there will be some activities that, for instance, the focal point of this tree planting exercise will be in Soroti. There will be regional dialogues in the northern region, in Teso and in Kabarole, in the days leading up to the 3rd of May. And these outcomes will feed into the national dialogue, which will take place on the 3rd of May. There will be a sports gala, held in Soroti for all stakeholders through the different sports activities. There will be 2 photo exhibitions that demonstrate the reporting of environmental stories across the country, and this photo exhibition will take place in northern Uganda and in Kampala. I would like to conclude by restating that a sustained media campaign on climate and the environment and in the media across our platforms in the country will be undertaken to raise awareness in relation to the World Press Freedom Day emphasis on protecting the environment. We are hoping that ultimately increasing awareness through the media about the issues of the environment is also fundamentally critical, that freedom of expression and the freedom of the media for journalists to do their job is protected. A lot of journalists have been in harm's way, and we believe that there is a clear relationship between the ability of journalists to do their job without harm and also their effectiveness in informing and raising awareness about the environment. We would like to call upon the